This is something I think is essential to creativity, and that is play or messing around.
Hmm.
And this is one of those things where feel so guilty about it from time to time because there's no direct like outcome associated with what I'm doing. But every time I do it, I feel maybe not even in that moment. I don't feel creative, but I always feel like it affects creativity down the line somewhere. And so by playing, I mean like I actually have right here. This is in front of me. I don't know if you can hear that. This is a Lego set that I haven't opened yet. I've been saving
Hmm.
it as my treat for after Inktober's over. I'm going to build a Lego set, um, and which today we're recording this the day after Inktober. So this is going to get built this weekend for sure. But uh, the thing I love about Lego, and there's no secret here that it's the greatest toy and it's been a huge like impact in my life, is that there are those things already in it. There's a problem to be solved. You have a mess of blocks and they need to be put together into something. You have limitations. With Lego, you're really at the mercy of the pieces that you have available to you. And and if you ever see like, there's a thing you want, I don't know if you ever played with Lego, but if there's a thing you want to build and you don't have the right piece for it, then you have to find two or three other pieces to like make up for that, and work your way around it. And so just the act of doing that, and playing with those things, it gets your brain working in a creative way, in a very contained creative way, but then and gets your brain used to solving problems. But then always when I play with Lego, it makes me think like, what is the story here for this thing that I'm building? Where did this little Lego guy who I'm sticking into the space shuttle, like what is driving him to like fly the space shuttle? Where is he going to go when he what's he trying to accomplish with this? And that starts generating ideas in my head, and inevitably uh, um, whether it directly turns into a story or it gets my brain used to coming up with stories, it's beneficial to my creativity. So that's just one aspect of
Hmm.
play. But what do you guys think about play as being a way to cultivate creativity, and how do you guys play if that's something you do?
It's huge, and I think the one of the obstacles to play, like you're talking about, happens once you decide to become a pro. Because, like you
Hmm.
said, there's no immediate obvious payoff to it. And hey, couldn't you be making money over here doing this other thing? Sometimes you actually have to turn down jobs to have the ability to play. And that's a
Right.
really weird thing to do. It's a hard thing to do. And everybody's not in a place to even do that. So I'm not judging you guys if you say, hey, but I'd love to play, but I need to, pay my bills this month. But it's hard as a pro to have that block of time and to have it not lead to a direct, here's what I'm going to get better at. Like drawing
Hmm.
100 hands has an immediate payoff. Play, like
Hmm.
you're talking about, doesn't. And it's really strange, but I like it. I tend to play more, not necessarily with story like you're talking about, but I tend to play more with media. Like I started doing those big textured paintings and stuff a couple months
Yeah.
ago. Just had a great time with them, and I had no idea where I was going with that, or whether I would even like it, or if I'd be good at it, or if anybody else would like it. It was just like, hey, I'm going to try this thing out, and it hugely beneficial, and it actually changed how I approached this next round of digital images that I made and the marks that
Mm.
were being made, and it showed up almost immediately, but I didn't know that it was going to show up in that way. And then
Hmm.
now that I'm done with that book, I'm going back because that's where I started to have a lot of fun, and I still don't know where that's going to lead.
That's a really good point too. Like
That's
play,
cool.
you could play with your art supplies too. Like being a professional for so long, I look at my art supplies as like tools to get a job done, right? It's
Right.
very straightforward. Whereas I used to see these things as like, this is another toy that I have at my disposal. I got Lego over here. I've got He-Man over there. I've got a, um, you know, uh, uh, what are they called? Lincoln Logs. Was that what it was? You know, and I have Crayola markers and a stack of paper, right? And all of these are just things to play with.